In this video, I remake Cuphead, but as a first-person shooter. So if you don't know, Cuphead is a run-and-gun action game focused on boss battles with visuals inspired by cartoons of the 1930s. With the DLC right around the corner, I was wondering what would Cuphead be like if it was a first-person shooter. Let's remake Cuphead from scratch and find out. Alright, so the plan is simple. I want to remake the main menu, the world hub, and one boss fight. There will be only one playable character, which would be Cuphead, and the weapon of choice will be the iconic pea shooter. Alright, let's get started. Before I remake any game, I always search the internet for some free models to save me some time. This boss is looking a little too realistic for my liking. This player model is looking a little too blocky. And this one's looking a little too thick, man. Eventually, I stumbled across these free models for the entire world that were just absolutely amazing. Thanks Cass and Deku for the entire map, very cool. After some more model hunting, I found a player model and an amazing boss model for $25. Hold up, let me check my bank account real quick. Oh, that's not looking too good. So I ended up purchasing that boss model. If you could help me out by subscribing and liking this video, I'd appreciate it. Now let's import all these models and start programming. Every FPS needs a player controller and the ability to shoot, which I basically just copied from my last game and modified a few things. I then realized that Cuphead snaps his fingers to shoot, so I try to make the shooting animation represent that. What this player controller is missing is Cuphead's signature dash ability. Alright, I just finished the code for the dash logic, so it should work as soon as I press shift. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. After implementing that feature, I wanted to have the vintage look the original game had, but after one too many hours, I got it working only for it to tank the performance of the game, so sadly, I had to scrap it. While I was at it, I implemented the super shot and the ultimate, as well as the animation to tell you when it's ready. Let's take a look at how this game is coming along. I added some idle hand animations, as you can see here, and I also made a cartoon shader for the water. Taking a look around Inkwell Aisle 1, we can see it's pretty dead here. There's no NPCs like the apple guy or the coin guy. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to model and implement them just yet, but let's go to Inkwell Aisle 2 and check it out. I'm really happy with these maps. They're pretty much the exact same as the original game. We even have a secret path behind the mountain, which is a nice touch. There's just something about walking around Inkwell Aisle in 3D that is just fascinating. I'm really loving how this game is coming along. We even have the iconic casino that holds the hardest boss in the game, King Dice, but sadly this entrance leads nowhere. So that's how the world hub is coming together. We need to start working on the boss map now. After working on this map for a couple minutes, I realized this map is looking like complete, so I just got some low poly models online to help me out. The map is now looking beautiful with those assets. The foundation is now set for this game. We need to recreate some of the models that the boss uses for its attack. I only watched about 4 videos on how to model in Blender, so let's see how this goes. I don't know about you, but this acorn is looking extremely sus right now. All the models are now complete, and I honestly think I did a decent job. This boss is extremely boring right now. We need to recreate all the attack patterns, but recreating all these attack patterns did not go smoothly. First up was that weird stretchy move, which was surprisingly simple. Just stretching the model in an animation got the job done. Next was the boomerang attack, but math is hard, and I have no clue how to make a boomerang act like a boomerang. So once again, animation saved the day here, and I don't have to deal with math, so it's a win-win. The next attack pattern was the Gatling gun attack, which spawns all those annoying plants. For this, I created an area where these little seeds can spawn in at random, and when colliding with the ground, depending on the color of the seed, they will spawn a different enemy. There's one enemy that just sits on the floor being an absolute nuisance, another that follows your movement, and one that flies on the edge of the arena shooting projectiles on you. Sadly, I'm not amazing at modeling, so that the animations for each attack cannot look exactly like the original game, but it still looks fine. If you're wondering, I didn't forget about the acorn attack. It's just, we don't talk about that. Everything is set in place to make this 3D version a true remake of Cuphead, but we need to do the boring stuff, which is UI and sound design. Adding all the sound effects was actually easy to do, but the death screen and adding an options menu took the longest. I learned from my last game to add a mouse sensitivity option, or else the game would be just unplayable. There are a few other options in there as well to just give you a better experience. I also needed a game loop, so I remade the menu screen as well as the end screen when you defeat the boss. A couple of quality life changes here and there, and the game was complete. This game will not be available to download or play since YouTube did not like it and took down this video. Hopefully this video can stay up with this change. So sadly, you're just gonna have to enjoy this gameplay instead. And if you like this video, consider subscribing. Thanks.
Hey.